of deep-rooted psychology, which is really interesting.
And I would just meditate on my own DNA. My DNA, I knew that my DNA would tell me everything. I know what's going to come. I know what's going to happen. What I know is going to happen, humanity is not ready to hear about. I have a brother who's a Rockefeller, and I will not say his name. Up until I was 4 years old, I spent every single day that my father spent in the Pentagon, and I was allowed to do whatever I wanted. I could have been, I think that ultimately maybe they were trying to take me away from all the pain, because never once have I ever been hurt by any extraterrestrial. My brother, who's the Rockefeller, told me that I tried to talk to him before about everything, because I knew my mom wasn't my mom. I knew that things were askew. I knew that all these ETs were coming into my home and everything I've told you. And I was trying to put my own puzzle pieces together, and I'm like, what's going on here? And he said, there's absolutely no way I'm telling you. He said, but in 3 years, you're going to come back to me. And he said, at that moment is the moment I'm going to tell you that you're absolutely correct. And he said, the one-word answer was yes.
Okay, so you believe you're related on the ET side. What about the is there a marriage between the Rockefellers and the Rothschilds?
They're all interbred.
You're saying your real sort of awakening, though, only happened like 3 years ago?
I know it. I know that there's something going on here. And then when my son had his breakdown, it was like a flood started happening in my family immediately. Just everything came.
I understand who you say your father was, more or less, but we're also talking about the entire Rothschild family, right?
Yeah.
So in terms of, the lineage of this group of people, right, you understand that the reptilian influence on them.
100%.
And yet you fully acknowledge that you're half reptilian, right?
Absolutely.
Do you remember interactions with the Catholic Church?
I've seen ritual sacrifices of children in the Vatican in the bowels of it.
And are you also aware of what is called the Anunnaki? Okay.
Absolutely. Anunnaki is it encompasses many races. Searching for love any way I could get. And I was married at this time, I've been married since 1989. But I became extremely promiscuous, and that's my monarch programming, that was coming out of me. I would always be promiscuous with military men. It was always a military man, because I couldn't pinpoint why was I doing these behaviors, why was I acting out, why would I get so upset, why would I go sleep with all these men. I have a beautiful, wonderful husband, and I would go off searching for love, and I had unconditional love at home.
So you knew you came from like the military-industrial complex,
yes,
so to speak.
I even remembered the rapes that were done to me at 4 years old, but I didn't know why they happened to me. I thought it was just something that happened to me. I didn't realize it was part of the programming. That was my very initial breakdown. That was the time when they took me from 1 to 2. You understand what I mean, from
right.
my personality to 2. They took me away from the man that loved me so much, and that was Mangala. And that broke me in and of itself. And that breaking plus the rapes did it.
Right now I'm talking to Erin.
Right, absolutely.
Is there multiple?
I like to think I've integrated, but who knows? They did try to wipe my mind. The Nazi influence is heavy in my family from my father and mother. My father's cover job was a congressional aide. That's it.
Right.
And he headed everything.
Yeah.
I have taught all of my children so that they're absolutely aware of where they're from, who they are, and the fact that don't think it's a curse to be a half reptilian. See, the government knows how to take your soul and just put it in this one, or put it in this one,
right.
Put it in this one.
Okay, are you in touch with members of the Rothschild family?
No.
Not at all?
No.
Okay. Have you ever been?
Yes.
Do you remember that?
When I was a child, we used to go around them all the time. Because as a child, I was very used to being around Kennedys, around Rothschilds, around Rockefellers, around all of those elite. My father always was taking me around them.
A genius thinks he's so smart.